everybody, it is Steve, your friendly neighborhood lawn gnome. Welcome back to another video over here on That's Comical, and if you're watching and it happens to be a Wednesday, happy new comic book day. So here we are, everybody. Now, whether you are officially MCU'd out or just begging for more from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I know that every single one of you watching this video were very, very curious about this specific film that was coming out at the end of 2022. Of course, it is the final installment of MCU's Phase 4, and it was definitely the most talked about because of the fact that we lost one of the best pieces of the MCU in Chadwick Boseman, who played T'Challa, the Black Panther. So we found out that they were still going to be giving us a sequel, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. The question was, how was Kevin Feige and company going to do it? And this movie reunited the rest of the surviving cast, including Leticia Wright, Lupita Nyong'o, Denai Guerrera, Angela Bassett. Even Martin Freeman returns in this film, and we have two new additions who will play much bigger roles in the MCU moving forward, including Dominique Thorne, who played Riri Williams, aka Ironheart, and Tenoch Huerta, who played the one character that I, for one, was so excited to finally see join the MCU, and that, of course, was Namor the Submariner. One of the very first superheroes ever created. He was one of the first two superheroes created for Marvel Comics, who wasn't even called Marvel Comics at the time, back in 1938. What was also very exciting about this specific film for me was I actually had the ability and the blessing of seeing this movie on the big screen. It has been almost 1 year since I have been to the movies, and it has nothing to do with COVID restrictions. It's just because of the fact that my wife and I became parents in May, and it has been very, very hard for us to really go out and do some of the things that we love to do. But thanks to a week off between Christmas and New Year's, and daycare being open, that was where our daughter was, and we went to the movies. And I don't know really how I felt about going into this movie, because Marvel Phase 4, I think we can all agree that it wasn't the strongest. There were definitely some gems. There were definitely some interesting things that were given to us on Disney+, but all I know is that we got a lot thrown at us this year, and the one thing that a lot of these TV shows and movies basically said were, we're done with this installment, but it is your job to guess where we're going, because clearly you guys have questions. Wakanda Forever comes out, and not only do we get an understanding of where we are headed in Phase 5, but I truthfully feel that this is one of the best films to come out of Phase 4. This was a very enjoyable film in so many ways. The one thing that, for me personally, got me really appreciative of this film was the fact that it was a serious film. Was this film going to be serious like its first counterpart or some of the other Marvel films? I wasn't sure, but it was definitely more dramatic and less comedic. Were there comedic moments here? Yes. Were they done in good taste? Yes. Did they try to drive the movie like a certain movie that came out earlier this year? Absolutely not. I will definitely give props to Denai Guerrera as Okoye, because, oh my goodness, she was definitely the best comedic relief of this entire film, just because of the fact that she said everything with a straight face. But Namor coming into this world, this was also something that we saw in this film that Marvel has struggled for so many other films. They never seem to get the villain right, minus a few. But it's probably because Namor is not necessarily a villain. He's not necessarily a villain in the comics. He is a good-natured king with a good heart for his people, but if it means that he has to rise up against other kingdoms and say, you back off or there's going to be a war, that's what you're going to get from him. He's an anti-hero. He is the nemesis of Wakanda because they pose a threat to him. And because of the fact that he's coming out with threats in force, he proposes a threat to them. And that's pretty much what we get in this film. A really great origin story for Namor as well, throwing in another little link to something that we're hoping to see as the phases continue in the MCU, and that is the announcement that Namor is a mutant, and that is also something that is true to the comics. As a matter of fact, he is on the X-Men for a little while in the late 2000s. And the other thing that I have to say that was very strong about this film was the fact that those action sequences that we all complained about in the first film, my goodness, did they improve on them tremendously. The water battles were amazing, and I think it's just because of the fact that we didn't really see much of Wakanda anymore, nor did we see any of Namor's kingdom, and I think it's just because of the fact that they put so much of the budget in the first Black Panther film to show you the beauty that was Wakanda. They didn't really have enough to really give you those great action sequences, so some of them looked pretty digital, but these looked crisp, these looked clear, they were flowing beautifully, and the fact that we got Namor doing what he does was even cooler. It was also great to see Ludwig Göransson come back to score the film, just like he scored the first one, and it definitely didn't sound the same as the first film. It definitely had its original beats, original taste, and it was really, really great. Also, the rest of the cast, Angela Bassett, phenomenal. Winston Duke, he throws out the jokes when you need them, but I also really appreciated the fact that they truly paid tribute to Chadwick Boseman in the best way possible. Whether it was the moment of silence when the Marvel logo came up, or whether it was the beauty of the cinematography and the choreography of the funeral scene, beautiful. There also are some big surprises that are thrown our way, some that I really did not expect. And of course, Leticia Wright. She was good. I don't think that she was the best, but I really do appreciate the story that was built around her. I really appreciated the fact that they brought Riri Williams into this story, because it was really good to see a young lady who was truly suffering actually get a little bit of sympathy from another lady that was very much in her age group. I mean, the scene when Shuri and Okoye are on the MIT campus, that is pretty funny, and Dominique Thorne really was funny in those scenes as well. But what I appreciated about this film when it came to an end was we had a better idea of where this part of the MCU was going. I'm curious to see what Namor is going to do in the future films. I mean, as a Fantastic Four fan, I know that he butts heads with Reed Richards on a constant basis. Will he actually end up meeting up and joining the X-Men? I don't know. What is Shuri's story? What's going to happen with General Ross? Because we also got a big surprise by seeing Valentina show up in this film, played by Julie Louis-Dreyfus, and we know that she is going to be playing a big role in the creation of the anti-hero team Thunderbolts, which is also going to get their own film. So there's a lot to be excited about. But after seeing a movie like Wakanda Forever and hearing what Kevin Feige say because of the overall attitude about Phase 4, saying that it's going to be about the quality over the quantity, I just really hope that we get more movies moving forward that are like Black Panther Wakanda Forever and a lot less like Thor, Love, and Thunder. This is a movie that I definitely want to own. This is a movie I am excited to watch again. This is a proud installment of the MCU and a really great statement to say the MCU is far from being on its deathbed. I am going to be giving Black Panther Wakanda Forever 4 stars out of 4. I absolutely love this film. I didn't see anything about it that I didn't like. Even the slow moments were very well done, very well thought out, very well paced. It's a great movie. I personally enjoyed this one much more than the first film. And there's also one big surprise that's going to make your jaw hit the floor if you haven't seen this movie yet. I'm not giving it away. But if you loved the first Black Panther film, you're going to love the big surprise. And the post-credits scene, it was a very nice thing to see. And it makes me more curious. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please leave your comments in the box below. Let's talk about Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and I'll see you in the next one.